He hōnere he kororia, he maunga ronga ki te whenua, he whakaro pai ki ngā tāngata katoa. Ha ngā e te atua he ngā kauhau ki roto ki tēnā, ki tēnā, ki tēnā o mātou. Whakatongia tō wairua tapu, hei awhina, hei tohu i a mātou, hei banaki hoki i a mātou i tēnei rangi, kei roto i te ingoa o Ihukaraiti. Āmene.
Amen.
Nō reira, nau mai hara mai, ki te hahi a ipurangi, ko te hahi o te opi whakaora, nō reira, nau mai, piki mai.
Kia ora koutou. It's good to be with you this week on Salvation Online. Welcome this morning as we celebrate Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. And so this service this morning is brought to you by Te Manatū Māori, the Māori Ministry of the Salvation Army here in Aotearoa. You'll get to meet a few of our team from across the country as we share waiata and testimonies and all sorts of beautiful components in celebrating Te Reo Māori. Ko Hana Siran tōku ingoa, my name is Hana, no Ngāpuhi, no Te Raroa Ahau. It's good to be with you, and next to me.
Tēnā tātou anō rā, ko Ken te tau tōku ingoa, ko Ngati Kahangunu me rangi tāna i Wairarapa, ko Ngati Porau me Kaitahu o Iwi, nei rā te mihi.
Kia ora. So we're going to sing a song for you, and you may have heard it before, but this is a slightly different version. It's Ken's version of He Hōnore, and it's in Te Reo Māori and in English as well.
He hōnore, he karoia, maunga rongo ki te whenua. Whakaro, pai e, ki ngā tāngata katoa. Ake, 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 amine, te atua, te peringa, tōku oranga, tōku oranga. All honor, all glory, and peace, goodwill to men. All honor, all glory, and peace upon our land. All glory in the highest, I worship you, my God. You're my hiding place and my refuge. You hold me in your hand. Bring your peace upon our land. He hōnore, he kororia, maunga rongo ki te whenua. He hōnore, he kororia, maunga rongo ki te whenua. Ki te whenua. Ake, 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 amine, te atua, te peringa, tōku oranga, tōku oranga. He hōnore, he karoria, maunga rongo ki te whenua. Amene.
Ko Ruapeho te manga, ko Rangatiki te awa, ko Tainui te waka, ko Raukawa te iwi, ko Pike hau waiwai te hapu, ko Ian Hudson hau. Tēnā koutou katoa. My journey with Te Reo Māori started when I was young. I guess in my early years there was hardly any Te Reo spoken, and so it was very rare. But as the years went by I started to hear it more, and my initial feelings about it were that it was a very beautiful language, but it was mysterious to me and I wanted to begin to learn it. I think for me the greatest learning experience has been becoming aware of another world. Behind all those words in Te Reo, there's this whole other world I was completely unaware of. Beautiful words like manakitanga, whakawhanaungatanga, and so forth. Those words carry so much meaning that there's nothing in English that quite touches them, and it helps me to enter into this whole new world with some amazing values and ideas that I never knew existed, and what I want to learn more about. And I guess the language is the doorway to this world. My vision for Te Reo Māori is that more and more New Zealanders would engage, would learn it, and it would become more commonly used, both so that we can adopt the values that sit behind it and learn the values, but so that Māori and Pākehā together can grow together with this language and interact in a true and open and real way, much more than what it is today. And also for Māori to find their own culture, to find their own identity and to be able to express it in their own language. That's the vision that I have for Te Reo Māori. Thank you for listening. Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
I'm going to answer in ngā reo e rua, in Māori and in English. Nā reira, ka huri aku mahara ki te waiau I tupu ake. I am casting my memory back to the time of my childhood. I taua wā I noho mātou ki Ngāti Maniapoto. We stayed in Ngāti Maniapoto. I te mea, through my mama, we have whakapapa to Maniapoto. Nō reira, ke koutonga whanaunga e mā takitaki mai nei tēnā koutou katoa. I taua wai haere mātou ki te marae, so we often went to the marae and hung out with our whānau there. I taua wā ki rawa te marae ngā ruruhi me ngā koroheke, so we had lots of our elders still with us at that time. I te wā mātou I tipu, when we were growing up, when we got to the marae, the tamariki were often ushered out to play on the marae ātea. You know, there'd be this karanga, this call saying, haere koto ngā tamariki ki waho haututu ai, kori ai. And so all of the litlies would go out and do exactly that. They would play, you know, they were really strengthening their connections, their whakapapa base. I was a little bit different in that I would follow the nannies and the koros into the tupuna whare, and I would sit there in silence and just listen to the kōrero, listen to our history, listen to their moe moea, listen to their awanga, listen to our dialect, and it was just such a blessing to have been a part of that at that time. I nei wā nei tino rereke, I te mea toru no eiho, lo rātou. At the moment, we've seen a change over 2 generations, that now our marae are no longer flourishing in the same way, but that's not to say it's going to stay that way. Atui tēnā, aside from that which I've just described, he pai kia hau ngā ahurea Māori, pērā I te kapahaka ngā mahi a te rehia, me ngā tikanga o te maurākau. So I've enjoyed learning and performing in the realm of kapahaka, starting socially and then moving into a competitive platform nationally, and being blessed to be able to then take our culture overseas, ki tā wāhi. So those were really poignant times in my life where, you know, again, opportunities to learn our reo, to learn our history, our narrative, our moemoea, and then be able to express those through the art form to some, through the mahi of kapahaka, and just absolutely be blessed by that. To be able to stand in unity with others and to be, you know, he wakaike noa is a saying we hear often, to be in the same waka together. Okay, kapai, I would encourage you, if you have an opportunity to learn moeata, to do maurako, to do kapahaka, then whai muri, go after it, pursue it. And I really do want to encourage you on your journey. E kōrero aki tēnei. Encourage you to go and learn and grab a hold of all of the resources that are available at the moment, whether it's people, whether it is via the ipurangi, via the internet, or whether it is in another form, another manner. You may go for a walk one morning and just practice one kupu. It could be hikoi, the word for walk, hikoi. And so as you continue to build on your repertoire and learn different kupu, different words, they will form a foundation from which you can begin to converse. And I think one of the beauties of learning is making mistakes. If you make mistakes, that's awesome, because how else can we learn? So hapa are a normal part of our learning journey. I make them myself, and I'm sure most, if not every other speaker, unless you are mātanga o te reo, are the same. So enjoy your learning journey in te reo. I pray that you would be blessed with all that you stand in need of. If it's rauemi, if it's people, I pray that you would be courageous in your journey and that you would pursue it with diligence. Nō reira, tēnei ake te tino mihi kia kouta katoa, tēnā koutou.
Make every effort to pursue unity, the unity of the Spirit through the bonds of peace.
you mean it, sing it out loud. Let us hear you tonight. Make that statement. We're going to make every effort, whatever's in the power that I have, to do something about this. Let's stand as one under one, Lord. Kotahi, Kotahi te ariki, te whakapono e. Kotahi ho hoki, te iri, me whai, me whai. Me whai kia mo te kotahi, kanga o te wairua e. Holy Spirit, we're gonna need you. He mea pai he rena, te rangi mari e. He mea pai he re, he mea pai he rena, te rangi mari e. Whakaria mai, tori peka ki au. Tia mai, raro toi te o. Hei kona, titiro atu ai. Ora mate, hei au koe no ai. Whakaria mai, tori peka ki au. Tia ho mai, kia roto i te ho. Hei kona, te tiro
Kia ora. Welcome to Rangiora. Ko Waio, ko Tarawera Te Manga, ko Tarawera Te Awa, ko Te Aroa, Te Iwi, ko Ngāti Rangitihi Te Hapu. Ko Nigel ko in Tane, ko Joseph rau, ko Eli oku tamariki, no Niki aho, ko Christine aho. Kia ora, my name is Christine. My husband Nigel and I, with our two boys Joseph and Eli, are based in Arangura in Tiwai, Pounamu. We're the core officers here and we work for the Salvation Army, and it's a great community to be in, and as you can see it's beautiful and sunny today. My reo journey has been a bit hit and miss. I grew up in Wellington with my Pākehā grandparents on my dad's side, and they were wonderful and looked after me really well. But my brothers grew up with my mum, and my mum is Māori, and she's one of 13, so we have a large whānau, and I'm actually the oldest moko in that side of things. So I never grew up speaking reo. I did go home on the odd occasion back to the marae for tangis and the like. A lot of my cousins actually didn't end up speaking the reo either, and my grandmother, actually my mum's side, is a native speaker, and she barely speaks it because she was brought up in a generation where they were encouraged not to. But her reo is beautiful, and I wish she would speak it more. So it's only really been in the last 4 to 5 years that I have started to re-embrace my identity of being Māori, of being Pākehā, of re-embracing Te Reo Māori, because our language is a big part of who we are. And I have learning difficulties. I struggle to learn things, and one of the beautiful things about Te Reo is I keep going back to it and it doesn't change the language, so I keep relearning the same things that I learned 4 or 5 years ago. But there are some wonderful resources out there, and so one of the resources that I'm currently using is actually doing an online course called Pupuhuia Te Reo online course through Te Wānanga o Rakawa. And it's a free course, and so I do it online, and it's not the same as doing it, ki te kanui, face to face. But at least I'm starting the journey. And one of the other things that I did also, more so last year than this year, was go down to Aranui Salvation Army, where there's this beautiful whaia who teaches using arako, the coloured blocks, and it's been a really easy way to learn the reo. My greatest learning experiences from learning Te Reo is being actually, one of them is being at the Aranui Te Reo class with others that are Māori who are on the same journey, but also being on a marae is one of my, I always learn so much when I sit on a marae. I kind of wish that I worked more with maraes, because when you're immersed in the whole culture of being on a marae, you learn so much, you see so much, you hear so much, you taste even so much, and I always come back feeling refreshed and refilled from that. So I guess for me, my vision of Te Reo is for the language to be passed on to others, for people to be able to pick it up, to be brave and to use it. I need to tell that to myself as well, not to be whakamara about it, because it's a beautiful language. So, in my final closing words, I want to leave you with a whakatauki, which says, "I haka koe I iti pounamu." Although my reo is small, it is precious, and it's precious to me. And I hope that others will be encouraged to do their own journey of learning Te Reo. Be brave, you can do it as well. So, he konara, Until next time.
I guess for me, I've grown up in New Zealand, but my journey with Te Reo really started when we were appointed to Booth College of Mission. At BCM, they had established the practice of having a pōwhiri at the start of the year for new staff and new cadets. There were various elements of tikanga Māori around the cadets welcome and commissioning events. During our time there, we embedded that even more. We began to ensure that pōwhiri were done whenever new staff started. By the time we left, the cadets were having their own kapahaka sessions that they did themselves. That really was the beginning of our journey with Te Reo Māori.
Another thing that helped me in my journey was in 2018 we did a 10-week course with about 50 other participants in the division, and that was really helpful to learn the basics of Māori, to learn the pepeha and how to count, how to sing waiata, and just putting it into practice every day was really helpful. So that's part of my journey. So part of the challenge for me was, as a part of the Te Reo course, was actually putting it into practice. I could say the words, but I didn't have the confidence to use it. So practicing with other people who were at the same sort of stage as me was really helpful. I do remember the first time I had to actually give my pepeha was at Officers Fellowship, and it was quite an emotional time for me. Actually reading it, I wasn't brave enough to do it without notes, but for me there was something really special about giving my heritage, my pepeha, and so that was one of the greatest experiences for me.
For me, being invited to whaikarero when about 70 Salvation Army officers were welcomed onto Te Timarai in 2018 was a rewarding and frightening and learning experience. I think it was the first time I really did a whaikarero without using notes, and just because of where it was in the home of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, it was humbling. It was an honour. Look, I've always believed through theological study that language shapes value. The language we use helps determine what we value and how we value it. And for Te Reo Māori to be used, to be honoured, to be normal as part of life in Aotearoa, I think speaks to valuing tangata whenua, valuing the history of our nation, and valuing the principles, the rights, the responsibilities that are actually built into Te Tiriti o Waitangi. I also think that there's something about the honouring of Te Reo that breathes life into our nation which is multicultural, but is so well defined by the relationship of tangata whenua and tangata tairiti. And my vision is that Te Reo would be just part of the normal framework of life in Aotearoa.
Well, thank you for listening to us.
Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
E te ariki, whakarongo mai rā kia mātou. E te ariki, titiro mai rā kia mātou. Anei mātou o tamariki, e whakarongo
Taiti, wairua tapu e.
I te tīmatanga ko te kupu hoki tēnei a te atua, ko te atua hoki te kupu. Ko te paipera, te pūrākau o te kaupapa a te atua, hai hoko i tana iwi ki aia. Ko te paipera nō hoki e whakatohu ana i aia, me he kō wai mātau e pono ana ki aia. Ko te kraipe ture katoa e ana i te kōrero a ihu karaiti. Ko te kianga, te tino āriki hoki a te atua, te aroha noa mō tōna momo tangata. No te kitenga a hoene kia o ihoa ko te kupu e me e ia o te kupu e hanga i kiko ai i tainga mai ki roto i a tātou. Ko tēnei kupu whakakitea mai i te tangata o ihu karaiti. Ko te tikanga o te kawanata a te atua e me ai ki tana iwi. I hoatu ki a tātou me te hunga katoa e whakapono ana te ora. E logos ana te whakawhitinga kāreki o kupu ko te kupu tikanga, te kārere me te pūrongo rānei. Ko te atua, ko te whakakitea mai kupu, ia mātau i te paipera Māori tuatahi. He toko mahanga Māori e tuahu te kupu a te atua. E tuahua nō hoki ki a Māori, ko te arero o tō tātou nei ukai pō ko te kohanga o te reo Māori. I hoatu nei ki a tātou e te atua. Ko ngā tau, e noho, ko tahi rau toru te kaumāiwa i muri te waitohu o te tiriti o Waitangi, i ko tahi mano, waru rau whā te kaumākore, he nuinga he rahi o te reo Māori. I whakapono ai te Māori ki te matanga o tō tātou nei reo. I whakataua tēnei ki te tamitanga me te kaupapa āhua o te whakawai mehatanga, ko wēnei i hinga te reo Māori mai i Aotearoa. I te timatanga o te ao katoa, he iwi kotahi, he reo kotahi, he kupu kotahi. Engari i kino ai i ngā iwi katoa i whakamārarati atu e te atua, te iwi mo te whenua katoa. I hoatu ki a rātau he reo rereke, e whakamā ana i a rātau. Engari, i pua wai ngā reo, i ngā wāroro hoki, i ngā tikanga a te iwi i te tuakiri. I pua wai te reo i runga i ngā centuries, a te wā e pua wai ngā tikanga a ngā iwi me o rātau tuakiri. Ko te ture o te kaupapa, tuanga o whakawai mehatanga o te reo kotahi i Aotearoa, i tino whakahāwea ki te atua mo tana iwi Māori. I te rānei, e āhei ana mātau ki te kite te ukai pō o te reo Māori. Ko tō mātau reo i whakahonotia ko wai tātou me o tātou tuakiri, i te whakawhanaungatanga ki tētahi atu iwi me tō tātou hononga ki te āriki o ihu karaiti. I nei anei, ko ngā tangata whenua me ngā tangata tiriti i tuku te whakawhetai ki te atua, mō ngā mānene hoki o tēnei whenua i whawhai ai, te whawhai pai, i te pāre mata hei honore i te tiriti o Waitangi, ā me whakamōhio te reo Māori he taunga o tēnei whenua. Ko ngā tōmori, ko korowetere, maturata, na kahurangi whina kupua, me tāhe me henare, me etahi atu tangata i tuku reo rite, ko te manako mō tā rātou mahi i kaha ai te reo. Me mihi ki tā Peter Sharples me kahurangi Tariana Turia, kua whana ki te mātau ai me te ukaipō o te reo Māori mō tātou. I muri i te katoa, ko tahi ngā reo, whai e rua o tēnei whenua, me whai reo tohu mō ngā tangata turi. Ko koe, kua hau, ko tāwatahi, he tā koha hau, ko ngā iwi o Aotearoa hei whakaora ai te reo. Nā reira e tātou mā, kia kaha hoki koutou ki te whakapiki ai te reo, ki te whakamana te reo, ki te ora ai te reo Māori, te reo rangatira o Aotearoa. Hoi anō, i ngā kupu a tāhemi henare, ko te reo, te mauri o te mana Māori. Ko te kupu a te atua, te mauri o te reo Māori. E rua enei wehenga kōrero e hangai tonu ana ki runga i te reo Māori. I te tīmatanga ko te kupu hoki tēnei a te atua, ko te atua te kupu. Kia tau te rangi Māori e.
e rauranga tira mā. Ko riro mātou ki te mutunga o tēnei kaupapa, arā ko te hāhia ipurangi, no reira, nei rātu me hatu kia koutou, ana.
Kia ora. Thank you so much for joining us this morning as we've celebrated who we are, our identity in the Salvation Army. For many of us, our identity as Māori, our identity as Christians, as followers of Jesus, who in this country are working out our commitment as tangata tiriti, people of the treaty, and tangata whenua, people of this land. So thank you for listening to our testimonies and stories, our waiata, for being part of our whānau of Te Manatū Māori Ministry. And if you want to, remember you can always jump onto the Facebook page and follow us on Salvation Army Māori Ministry. We would love to see you there. Thank you for celebrating Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori. Make sure we don't just leave it at 1 week, that we continue every week, every month to celebrate who we are. Bless you, and we're going to now finish with a benediction from Mark Hawkins.
Nā ki aia, e kaha nei ki te mahi I ngā mea nui whakaharahara, nui no atu I ngā mea katoa e inoi ai, e whakaro ai tātou. He pēnei anō me te kaha e mahi nei I roto I a tātou. Waiho atu I aia te karoria I roto I te hāhi I runga I a karaiti ihu. A taia no atia ngā whakatūpuranga katoa, āke, āmene.